Mwamba Mulangala, an artist from Zambia. I'm also playing with a lot of color. Some of the colors I use in the background, and bring in a few designs of the material that she's wearing, which is a chitenge material, and the headgear there, that form there, and how the breast behind there curve, and some of the hand is even hidden away by that. In that also, see, when you, like on this painting, I used collage. And very often when you use collage, I feel that it should actually complement the painting, and every little space in the artwork has to be considered. So it has to work well. So what I did was I actually got the actual copy of this girl, because she's actually reading a book. And we have a lot of these books that the young girls in my country like to read. They are called Mills and Boons. Now this one is called Highway of Love. So I made a photocopy of it and reduced it so it could just scale down, and then I put in all these things to work well together with it. Now this is again another portrait of a young girl. The one we saw before was very much of an old woman. So this is a portrait of a young girl now. Her name is Nana, and she's actually my relative. I finished off this painting right here in Dubuque. Now this painting here is actually a ceremony which is conducted at home when someone is married. This is amatebeto, which means, like the sticker says there, introducing bride's food to the groom. So what normally happens is when, say for instance, a gentleman is marrying a woman, the family for the woman would cook food. Colors that you see here, like the dark, almost black, like dark greens and blues. Those are the colors that you see there. Some of the blues there you can find here. So this was my palette for that painting, and this will be the next painting that I might do. Now this was a big palette turned into painting. The title of this painting is called What About Me? In Africa, we carry our babies on the back. Now I see in America sometimes babies are put in the front in small bags, and usually their heads are on here, right? And they face this way. But back in Africa, our babies face the front. So they're tied on the back using this cloth which is called a chitenge, and that's the same thing that she's actually wearing down there. Now the title comes from the fact that this baby was once on the mother's back. Now the age difference might be very slight, so she's maybe jealous that that other friend there is on the back and she gets to walk on the ground. So she's trying to pull onto the mother and she wants to get on top. Now the mother has so much to carry because she's carried that baby. She wants to be carried, and then probably she has to lift this basket to the market. So there's a lot of load involved. So I just blocked out the bicycle and left it simple and not put so much detail, because I don't like detail myself. Some paintings, I think it's best the eye is finished for themselves. So anyway, I blocked out the tires and worked in a way that, see, if you're painting something and you want to show movement, it's always good to put yourself in the picture. Like when you put your feelings onto canvas, as people would say. So I was trying to feel the speed of the bicycle, the weight, like I'm in that position. So sometimes when you look at the tires, like Gary just said, he felt like the tire was actually spinning and the guy was actually stepping onto it. Right, this one is an old man that I met during some of the ceremonies that were being conducted. He's actually the marriage middleman. In our native language in Bemba, we call him Bashibukombe. So he's the person that I actually met, and he's actually the advisor to the groom. So he's the in-between. If the groom has maybe a problem with the bride, he's the in-between to sort out problems. So he's what you'd say the wise man. And very often I paint women, and I enjoy that. But this time I wanted to depict an old man.
Where do you get your ideas from?
Ideas are there, but usually I go for ideas that have something. If I paint someone, I just don't want to paint someone standing. It's either they're doing something or the subject has to move me in a certain way. There has to be some kind of body language for me to have painted that subject.
In some of the paintings when the women were scrubbing, I noticed that the rags weren't paint. What did you make the rags out of?
What I do is sometimes I get very lazy. So, I mean, if I start painting a rug, it's going to take me like maybe 30 minutes. So, anyway, it's not that. I'm not lazy. But the thing is, it's just playing with materials. It's more like experimenting. I stick things on my paintings, or rugs, or newspapers, or things like that, just to see how it works well with the painting. But when I do that, there's a lot of things I have to consider. When you look at those paintings from far, did you know that was a rug from far? You couldn't tell. That's because when you're doing an artwork and you're incorporating things like what you'd call collage.
Did you always want to be an artist?
I always wanted to be an artist. I think I was born to be one. Well, they say artists are made, but I think I was born with it, and I find it fulfilling. So I think for me it's a way of life where I can express myself. I hate being restricted.
I feel like we can learn a lot about your culture from your paintings. Is that done purposefully?
Basically, that's why I call it a place where one comes from. Because where I come from, that's exactly what I see. So that's the life I see around me. That's my environment. Then that's where my ideas come from. It's like basically that's just home. So when I was doing these paintings, I wanted you guys in Dubuque to give you a small piece of Zambia. So what you've seen is just a small slice of the life back home.
Why am I